Bans, Jason, in terms of bans, what are we expecting?
Casson should be taken away from Exer. We know how good he is always. The Rise, I wouldn't really assume to be taken away necessarily since he hasn't played in quite a while. But we do see the Kazakhs taken away and the Kale so far. So Kale we saw yesterday, a pretty good champion, but he's also a really good counter to Zed. So that could be a possibility as being picked up by one of the teams here if they do let it slide through. You do see Volibear being taken out as well as Jarvan. I'm curious to see an Elise ban here if they're going to go for that and really single Morden out. But we'll see in time if they do go for that.
Why you no ban AD Kennen? I thought you were going to talk about that one, to be honest, but I'm not sure if they're that scared of it at this point. However, a lot of teams have said that and lost afterwards once that AD Kennen comes in there. But against Authority do have a final ban, and there is the Kennen.
So Elise has been let through. I'm curious to see if against Authority... Oh, there it is. Or as I say that, it does get banned out. I was going to say, I think against Authority we'll be able to pick it up, but they do actually go for Thresh. And I wanted to talk about this, is that Dude. So it's a new player into the team, but he also brings new champions. Like, for instance... if Cross likes to play Sona a lot and played Lulu right behind that. But, you know, we saw Dude on Johnny yesterday. We're going to see him on Thresh now. We saw Cross actually on Thresh too. But, you know, he brings a lot of new junglers, a lot of new breath into the team. And we'll see how well this works out.
Yeah, one thing that we know that No is going to often say during this game, Dude, where's my hook?
Or you'll have Babette to be like, Dude, where's my AD carry? Could happen. It's not Blitzcrank, but we do have Shen and Misfortune being picked up here. So Jimbones, that's pretty much his go-to AD carry when Kennen is taken away. And Samix most likely will be playing that Shen, though I'm not sure if that will be in the jungle or top lane just yet, because we know Morden as playing different kinds of junglers than what the norm is.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Virtual going to be sitting on Nasus. Wouldn't be surprised to see that. We saw him on, I believe, Volibear yesterday. And, you know, that's just kind of the go-to thing. It's Hecarim, Nasus, Volibear. It's like the three most jungle champions. Right.
And I think this Nasus will actually be a choice here. With that Volibear obviously being banned out, they wanted to get rid of that one. It's very, very strong, especially at those early levels. Like, he's a very fast champion to get in there, especially if you add that in with a Thresh and you can get those Lantern ganks off, for example. But let's see then what against Authority go here. We've got the Thresh, who most likely will be playing in support. I don't want to count any other role out, because we've heard from a few players that Thresh does have that versatility to go elsewhere. Renekton. Now, coming into week 7, I'm not sure if that is still the case. I'd imagine it would be that Renekton was Freddy's most played champion.
Well, it looks like he might be playing it again then. And it's a strong champion overall. It can really go head-to-head against most things. Not to mention you're very mobile and how you can jump into that back line. And Zed is still available. I mean, I want to point that out because he's been so crucial over these past couple of weeks, and yet he has been picked up. We do see the Zyra picked up, and this is the thing. You don't know if it's going to be support. You don't know if it's going to be mid lane, so it's always one of those confusing champions. And we're going to see Exer most likely lock in a jungler here or that top laner to really keep that sense of... what's the word I'm looking for, Joe?
Surprise.
Surprise. Thank you. Sense of surprise.
Yeah, and that's something that Giants have done consistently, actually. Locking in this Zyra fairly early on, and we have, because Extermin has played it in the middle, that's instantly the whole... is this going to be a support Zyra? Right. Is this going to be in the middle? And they can do that reactionary. You know, they've got last pick after all, which means that they can lock in another support later on. There is a Mundo. We talked about Morden, and you know, he's pretty much the only player in the LCS that's really been playing consistently Mundo in the jungle.
Yep, and with this Mundo, we've seen the last time they played this kind of comp was an Olaf in the top lane, Mundo in the jungle, and they ran Ryze mid lane to have that really beefy, tanky front line. That could be a potential coming up, but also Exter has the option to counter pick here since he is the last pick. But we do see against Authority their next two pickups. They're against a very tanky lineup right off the bat. Wouldn't be surprised to see potentially a Vayne come out. We've seen Nono play a phenomenal Vayne. It's a really good champion to go against us. But then again, Varus is available, and that is another champion that does really good against high health targets.
Well, let's see here. Against Authority taking their time, you can see focus on Nono and Dude's face. There is a Tristana, and obviously the call was made for that one, picked up and locked in straight away. And an Orianna. Interesting choice. We're seeing her less and less recently.
That's a lot of damage they're missing, though, if they actually do lock that in. Like, they don't have a really heavy damage team at all. All you're really going to depend on is on that Tristana and the Orianna ultimate. So if the other team, the Giants, can tank that burst that comes out initially, they can pretty much trample through them with the Zyra who could potentially go mid lane, the Misfortune who does a lot of damage, even AoE damage, and then their last pick coming in. And Mundo even does a surprising amount of damage with the cleavers and with his E proc. He hurts quite a bit.
Persistent, annoying, sticking on you damage. And I was just about to say, Kassadin, you know, a high mobility champion, basically to get away from the ball often, is what we're going to see here. And it is a Kassadin locked in there. That is one of Extermin's favorite champions.
Yep, we talked about that. You know, most likely should be banned out against him. It wasn't indeed. But, you know, he's a really heavy AP assassin. And if you take out Nono, for instance, if you take him out of the fight right away, where's their damage going to come from? Nowhere, and you'll be able to just destroy them as a fight does go on. So against the Authority, it looks like they're going to have to do something amazing early game, because if they fall behind, they're going to stay behind at this point. And Giants with Morden, we know how strong he is with Mundo, we know how strong he is in the jungle. He should be able to create some opportunities in the top and mid lane here for some very easy kills. And not to even mention the bot lane with that Zara Babetta, so spot on last week with his ultimates. He could even come down there and get up some free kills.
So Dude, for example, obviously is going to want to get in there with the hook. If you think about, you know, where the ball's going to be in terms of getting those shockwaves off, getting those ultimates off, you've got Renekton, who's going to slice and dice his way right in towards that back line, trying to get in there onto the carries. But you've also got Thresh, who when he lands that hook, he wants to get in there because he wants to drop the box in the right position. And then with that Orianna ball on top, you can shockwave them all in to the box, and that's the setup that they're going to be going for here for this one.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed out, because that is so spot on. You don't really expect the Orianna ball to come in from that kind of person. Like, you expect someone that's going to dive into the middle of your team and then use it then. But if you see Thresh land that hook, go into the team, like you just said, it's going to destroy the Giants. But then again, it all comes down to, are they going to have the damage behind that to really back it up?
Well, we're going to find out here. And Giants, and against Authority, you know, these are two teams that are in, I'm not going to say desperate need of a win, but in much need of a win. This is an important game, bottom of the table. I've referred to this already. These kind of games are 6-pointers, which Jason doesn't understand as an American, but
I'm starting to understand a little bit.
It comes from football, and that's not soccer. Before we get,
I can try explaining it if you want.
Go on then.
Okay, so what it basically means is that it's not necessarily worth 6 points, but because you're taking a win away from the team and forcing a loss on them, it's like losing 2 games.
I am very impressed with that one. We're teaching Jason here the laws of the footballs here in Europe. And yesterday, Freak described what El Clasico is. So, you know, overall good education here for the Americans in terms of football. But we are in game then against Soul Authority versus Giants here, a bottom of the table 6-pointer game. And Jason, talk us through level 1. What will or may happen?
I honestly don't think that we're going to see any level 1 action. I think it's just going to be protecting your own side of the jungle. Like you're saying, 6-pointer game. It's very important. Against Authority, just got into 6th place. They're feeling comfortable there. They want to maintain that spot, and the Giants fell to 7th. So they're just going to try to play as safe as possible, just try to play the game they know, and then come out with a win here. We do see Nono, though. He's sticking around mid lane, so that almost makes me want to think that they could potentially send their AD carry support against Kassadin. We've seen that done against Ocelot many times on his Kassadin, to just shut him down, keep him out of the game early, and he won't start to snowball as the game goes on.
Yeah, when you have to start farming up with the Sphere, then you know you're a little bit in trouble with the Kassadin, who obviously is, at the end of the day, is a melee champion when it comes to those auto attacks. So we'll see how that one all goes down. Lots of pings going on here early on, and that's just about positioning, trying to get the wards in there. But Better actually looking like he may go for that ramp ward, trying to get it as close as he can in towards the race, and there we go.
What worries me, though, is that Giants, okay, we do see the pings coming in. I was about to say, if they don't get any creeps onto their AD carry and support, like get that early experience, then they're going to have a really tough time in lane, because you see Nono and Dio going for their own double golems, and that's to give them that earlier level 2, and with that, Nono will be able to jump on top of you, will be able to use either his attack speed or his E to reduce healing, obviously, and they should be able to push you out of lane if that does want to come to turn. So we see Virtual starting with the Wraiths there, already having to get those pots running to keep up at full HP. Morden going to be kicking off here. Already did the Wolves, of course, on towards the red buff. Samek's going to be taking Wraiths away. They will be back up by the time that Morden comes around on their second spawn here of the game. Virtual is just going to be taking down the red buff as well. So pretty standard start overall. And speaking of standard, look what Kassadin has yet again. 9 health pots, a ward, and 2 mana pots. I mean, that's what the meta's come to. Pharaoh Pony talked about it yesterday when we were interviewing him, saying, you know, Riot's not a big fan of that. We might see some potential changes coming in with, you know, limiting how many pots you can actually buy early on. But that's what's keeping Kassadin in the game right now. Those 9 health pots, just stay alive to level 6 where you can really become effective. Exactly. He knows that Orianna's going to spend the time when she's not CSing is just harassment. Right. That entire time, trying to stop him from getting in there to pick up those creeps. So, early on here in this bottom lane, talk us through it. Tristan and Thresh
versus Misfortune Zyra.
Well, Misfortune's always been one of those champions pre-6 that is just so deadly. She has like one of the highest DPSs until as the game progresses a little bit further. Tristana's gonna have a tough time, to be honest. Like, yeah, you don't have your attack range built in just yet. You get that as you level up, so he's not gonna be able to go head to head. But the thing is, as long as he farms up and gets the items he's gonna need, he's gonna be way more effective than Jim Bones will be at the end of the game. Exactly,
Tristana now got that whole U-curve of performance in terms of how she goes through the game. And the game definitely not the strongest point, whereas Misfortune's definitely not got a U, I'd say. Pretty strong throughout the entire game there. So we'll see how that obviously all breaks in, but I think we're going to need some good interaction here as the hook is going to land there on towards Jim to jump in from Nono. Are they going to be able to lock down the first kill? Yes, they are. It's Fresh that secures it. There's another one for Dude. Can they get a double here? But Better going low. One more hit. There we go. Flashing from Nono. They take a couple of turret hits, but it's not going to matter. Double kill in the bottom lane. I think AD carry and support getting killed. And, well, a kill going over to the AD carry and support as well. First blood, Thresh.
And yeah, just as we were talking about Dude being like the breath of fresh air into the team, you saw right there, look at that coordination they threw off. I was going to say Thresh air, but I was like, no, I'll leave that to Joe. But you saw the coordination they pulled off. You know, you mentioned Crawley saying that they didn't really have the greatest relationship, him and Nono, but right there, that was ridiculous. Against Authority, their bot lane is a terror now because of those first 2 kills. And Johns, I don't think they really expected that.
Well, definitely not.
I mean,
judging by the response of what happened afterwards, I'd say they probably didn't. As we are seeing Morden actually doing a bit of counter jungling here. He even gets the good old briefcase off onto Virtual as he comes through there on top of that ward, and a second one in a row. And that's the annoying thing about Mono. You know, he is fast. He can get around there. He's very much Shyvana-like. If you think back to the whole the times where Diamond was exclusively playing that Shyvana-like. Very, very quick to move around. Good movement speed to get into the lanes. Got a good slow from the briefcase as things go on as well. So we'll see how powerful his actual ganks are. But in terms of counter jungling, his clear time is not bad at all. And I actually love that you pointed it up because I looked at his skill bar just on your screen right now. He's 2 points in Cleaver. Normally you take your W to level it up to go quicker through the jungle since it's mostly AoE, but with that Cleaver, they might go for a very early Dragon. Like that Cleaver just destroys him, and that might give them a nice amount of gold that they're going to need, especially in that bot lane. Let's have a look at the early CS here. Orianna winning out against Cassidy, and that's to be expected. Obviously, a range versus a melee champion. Cassidy not wanting to get to her, has burnt through his entire pots here as Morden going very, very low. 3 men coming in. Freddy actually going to pick up the kill with the Ignite, and Morden, I'm sure, is wondering, what the hell just happened?
I am not convinced that he would have died if he didn't throw that briefcase. That you lose health when you use that, but when you hit it, you get half of it back. And I think he would have stayed alive if he didn't use it right there. The Ignite was able to finish him off, and that might have been just a misplay out of Morden.
Well, misplay or not, that is kill number 3 for Against All Authority. Going this time over to Freddy and his Renekton. Talk us through that lane, because this is actually the first time we've really looked at it. Freddy versus Samux, Renekton versus Shen.
Alright, well, Renekton is just a very strong early game champion, free 6. You're like a caster, AD bruiser at the same time, and you can just destroy Shen. You can shred him. That's why we see that cloth armor picked up on him. So, Freddy 1-2 should win this lane up to the point that Samux gets a Sunfire Cape, and then it becomes just a bashing of heads and a free farm for both sides.
See the elixir started off there with Freddy as the hook is going to land here onto Mabetta. Is he going to go down? There is the rocket jump, but here comes Shen. Against All Authority, might have gone too deep with this one. No kills coming in as of yet, but in the end, Shen actually was stopped there with Freddy, actually, who stopped him from going in there.
Yeah, it was a nice interaction. You even had Virtual coming around from the Tribush trying to go for that 3-man gank. They were all able to escape with their lives, but it just really creates fear in Giants' eyes. They're like, holy crap, you know, they're destroying us bot lane right now. I mean, not in terms of CS, but that aggression they're going to come out at you with, they're not afraid at all, and they will get down and dirty if they need to.
Yeah, and Dude just showing once again, I mean, we talked about his 15 KDA was 0-0-15. He's got a kill and an assist. He's keeping 17. That one up here. He's going for most greedy player of the year. That's the award that I'm going to call it at least.
I want to see how
obviously you get no bonus for being the highest KDAs, but everyone wants it anyway. As I would as well.
Yeah, you just gain the hatred of Edward. The further away you get from him, he's just going to get more and more angry at you. But still,
so it just means when they play Gambit, they're not going to finish the game until they've killed him over and over and over again.
They're probably going to run Blitzcrank then to pull him out of that fountain to go for those kills or something. But, you know, he's been playing phenomenal. We cannot say anything to the contrary. He's been doing a great job. The synergy in that bot lane has completely changed around, and they're looking like a completely new team, looking like a very strong team right now.
Yep, 3-0 up, 2,000 gold at almost 8 minutes in. This is a good total that they've got, as we are going to see Morden here under pressure. Actually, we will see that red buff being taken away. Morden again throws the briefcase in. This time, though, it won't lead to his death, as he needs to be careful. Schleyer and Freddy are both there here, as a ward is put down, so they're going to have vision there. The raid's just been taken away. Let's have a look at Virtual here quickly, see what he's leveling up, because we talked yesterday about Snoopy obviously played that Nasus. There was a lot of talk on Twitter. St. Vicious, for example, the cursed jungler, was like, why is he leveling that Q the entire time? This time Spirit Fire is being leveled. Oh, in the middle lane, Slayer is going to go down. Bit anticlimactic. Good job, Joe. Nono's going to take out Babetta as well. We don't want to see no kills. The dragon had been started there for a little while against All Authority. But that is the first kill, obviously, coming down for Giants in that one. That will leave them 4-1 behind. But look at this. Freddy and Virtual coming around that backside. Are they going to get involved in the middle? It will be a 3-on-2 as the briefcase is constantly coming out then. That's the annoying thing about Mundo, honestly. That briefcase on such a low cooldown, like, constant annoyance.
What they should have done, I believe right there, was to potentially switch it up, not have their AD carry support fully back. I mean, yeah, we did see one of them go down, but, you know, they could have gone for Dragon right there, and with those cleavers, it would have been really quick. But then again, it's that moment where if you lose that fight, if you get an accidental engage, you're going to fall so far behind, it's going to be really hard for you to get back in the game. You know, Exter, he has a kill finally. He is starting to pretty much dominate Schleyer in that lane. You cannot count Giants out at all with his cast in play, and if you assassinate Nono, doesn't matter how far behind Jims is, they should be able to win those fights.
Let's have a look at this bottom lane, because we do have a level difference there. Kill difference, of course, is very apparent. 2-0-1 for the Tristana. 3.6 to 2.6 gold right now, so 1,000 gold is the advantage that Tristana's got. Let's have a look at the items. Vamp Scepter plus the Doran's Blade. Actually, Tristana must be, it's out on 1,900 gold right now. Berserker Greaves and the Vamp Scepter in Foreman's Fortune. So we are going to see Tristana come back to lane here the next time he goes home, which is right now. Coming back in there with more. Slayer actually managing to dodge away from that briefcase. That could have been the end if that had have landed.
Yeah, it really was. And Schleier's already hurt in this lane right now. He's still ahead in CS, but it's not going to matter as Extra can push out a lane so quickly just like that. And one thing I love that we see right now is Dude. So they were able to get those 3 kills total on the bot lane. Because of that, he gets a Sightstone early on, and that means he can ward up to stop Cassin from coming to gank him. So they can be really aggressive, they can push the advantage they have, and then they can force Extra to maybe visit the bot lane and make him waste time. We do see Schleyer going in on him in the mid lane, but not enough damage.
Yeah, Shockwave used there, but as you said, it doesn't really do that much. It's more of a meh wave, like meh wave. Didn't really shock anyone, or something like that at least. But 7 CS behind is Cassidin at this point. Got that Catalyst in there, got the TR. Promise the joke will get better, otherwise I'll stop them at some point. Don't worry, Freak's on later, they'll get better, that's for sure.
They always get better with Freak.
They always get better.
We do see a Shen ulting on Extra here. They're going in for a kill.
Flash away from Schleyer. Obviously doesn't have the meh wave available anymore. He already used that one in that last engagement, and that won't be able to lock any down. But that's Stan United used and out of the game now for a little while. We see Freddy actually pushing in there on towards that turret. The dragon, though, is still alive. Pesky dragon, they just don't want to take it.
Yeah, and because they see Mundo in that top lane and Shen ulti is down against Authority, he's going to go for here, and they will be able to pick up a very easy first dragon.
Yeah, and not sure that they're really going to get involved with this one. And as I say that, Babetta and Extermin are there. We're going to see Misfortune coming in towards that as well. But there is a smite available, and it will be smited off there by Virtual in the end to pick up the first dragon here for against All Authority. So overall, 3,000 gold in the lead, 4-1 in kills. Still no towers gone down though.
And the thing is, I think the goal that they have right now isn't really reflective of how the game's kind of going on, because Schleyer is being shut down. So if you shut him down, no one's the only one alive to do the damage. And obviously, he's very easy to kill with the lineup that Giants has. So if they keep Schleyer out of the game, Giants can easily win these team fights. And we know they're a team about doing these team fights. They don't necessarily try to win early on. Obviously, they do, but it's not their main goal. They try to go for that late game dominance.
That was the hook coming out from Dude, who honestly, he's been pretty impressive with those hooks so far. We saw the first 2 kills of the game coming in via those hooks, and First Blood did go over to Thresh, as you mentioned, managed to get that Sightstone in very early on. And I still can't get over the sound of Thresh picks up the souls. Is very haunted.
You just hear people crying, or the souls crying that they're being killed. But yeah, his Thresh has been phenomenal. His Johnny yesterday was great as well. He's bringing a lot of new breath. He's bringing a lot of new champions into the lineup. And we'll see what he keeps bringing to the team. And if he doesn't die here, his kitty is just going to skyrocket even further.
Well, even if he dies a couple of times, it's still not half bad with already 1-0. Freddy taking a little bit of damage from Samax, but he's not too worried about that. Actually going to go in here onto him. Is he going to go for the kill? Ultimate was, of course, running. And Samax just backed away. This is very much that scenario that you talked about. I mean, look at Shen's items. Giant's belt, Doran shield, double cloth armor. Like, you're not going to kill him very easily, that's for sure.
He has 108 armor, 13 minutes of the game. He will be pick up a Warden's Veil, most likely, with those 2 cloth armors. So we'll be able to shut down Tristana as well. But, that's the thing. They're just going to butt heads. But, Freddy's been keeping a CS advantage over him, and that's what really matters.
As Extermin just getting withered in that middle lane. Morden just coming around to back up that middle lane as the ball comes in. Still no real damage coming out from Orion, obviously, with that Catalyst and the Chalice in there. Much more about the lane sustain at this point. But that will, at some point, be coming down from Schley, and we'll see how that all works out for against Authority. Right now, though, they have a convincing lead, and to be honest, that gold lead is only growing at this stage.
Yeah, as long as they keep that up, it's just going to make it even harder for Giants to get back in the game. But I'm seeing this wither happen on Extra over and over, and one thing that really kind of points out to me as the game goes on is, there's no point in withering a Misfortune, because she's like pretty much a caster as an AD carry. She has a double up to use, she has attack speed from her W, she has the ultimate, and it looks like they might be committing that wither every time to Extra just to make that hook have an easier chance of landing.
Well, it looks like against Authority going to go in here for that turret, and that will be turret number 2 of the game. And that is the second one, of course, to against Authority. Both the bottom and middle outer turrets are down. They took that last dragon, and we have a good 5,000 lead for them at this stage of the match, which, as I said before, just a few minutes ago, I was saying it's a 3,000 goldie, then a 4,000, now a 5,000. If we look down the CS, 137 to 114, as we are going to see Morden getting closed upon here. There goes the Strangle Thorns. A good grasping roots came down as well. Everything landed there by Bebeta will save the Mundo.
And that's Bebeta Zai right there, just showcasing how good he is with it. But that hook out of Dude was so perfect. They even went for the tankiest member of Giants at this point. Weren't able to kill him, but still, he popped his flash, popped his ultimate, and he used the Zyra ultimate on top of that as well. So they could probably go for a push. We'd have Nono going head-to-head against Extra in the bot lane. I'm not really sure who's going to win this trade.
Yeah, I don't think Nono really knew who was going to win that trade. He kind of jumped in and was like, oh, I probably shouldn't do that. Uses barrier there, actually. Nicely forced out by Extermin, who's going to keep going in. The flash is used. Gets the Void Sphere off. The Null Sphere, sorry. Everything's Void with Kassadin today, apparently. Void Walk. And didn't quite get the kill there in the end onto Nono, who's going to lifesteal that back thanks to his Vamp Scepter.
Extra's sticking around. He is staying inside of a ward right now. If he goes in for that Rift Walk, they might be able... Oh, he puts a ward in that bush. I was going to say, but we do have Freddy going in on Jimbo's here. Virtual coming in from the side.
Yeah, we see the cleanse being used there by Jimbo's trying to get away, but he's not going to get away. And now Bebeta completely isolated from the rest of his team. They can dive this one. We're talking about a Nasus and a Renekton here. They're going to go straight under that turret, get the 2 kills. And Freddy saying, thank you very much. I'm now 3-0. Morden coming in from the side, but honestly... not sure that he can really do this one. Freddy will slice and dice his way back towards that turret anyway. Samax was coming up there, so they didn't want to risk anything. And that will be 6-1 in kills now. And that gold lead, as I mentioned, just getting bigger.
Yes, it is. And speaking of the gold lead, look at Nono and Jimbo's right now. It's 150 CS to 123 right now. So he was able to get those first kills. He was able to deny a lot of farm to Jimbo's. He's now 1 level ahead, and he has an Infinity's Edge built already. We don't see any item built just yet for Jimbo's. We need some Virtual going on the top lane. They do have that Med Shockwave, or Med Wave upcoming very soon. Fail.
Not as cool when you say it,
nope.
Is it?
Nope.
So, yeah, a little bit of AP now. It's not quite so meh anymore. I mean, it's just an Amp Tome, so it's kind of just half meh or something at this point. But it's very, very dangerous. There's no doubt about that one. Not just the damage, but the crowd control is off as here. As Nono going to go in there, makes the rocket jump, but can he get in range here? Extermin's Rift Walk going to be off cooldown in a second. Nono decides chasing is, well... No. Sorry about that. Slayer now getting caught here in the top, but look at that hook. Max range coming out. The Flay comes in as well, but Samox is Shen, and you just can't take him down that quickly there with the damage coming out of Orianna and Thresh. And you do have Renekton coming up towards his top side here, so Morden, if he sticks around, he will be dead here, as he does in fact back away. But this will be another turret going over against Authority, 3 in a row now, 3-0 for them. And they're really putting a lot of pressure on Giants right now. So you do see Freddy go in on a Morden, but he should be able to escape here. Yeah, stun comes down, but I guess also it wasn't so well communicated by the looks of things. They'd not pushed up any further. Freddy just gets in there, stun, Morden walks away from it. But Dragon has been started here by Virtual. The dog is going to be taking out the Dragon now. Extermin here is going to be going head to head, but the silence a lot less effective on Tristana than many others. She's just going to be auto-attacking. Yeah, silence, great stuff. As Ares Babetta getting caught out, puts the Strangle Thorns down, which will actually get them both knocked up. There's No knocking Samox back with his ultimate, but the rest of them all coming in here. Virtual now going to be the focus. He's not going to escape this one with that Kassadin around. The Rift Walk actually will finish it in the end, and now Morden going in on towards Dude, who knocks him back there, dodges a briefcase expertly, and that will be 6-3. But the Dragon was taken. Was it worth the 2 kills though? That's all I'll say about that. That little sound. I mean, obviously it's going to be pretty even in the end from that trade, but that kind of shows that, we talked about the goalie for against Authority, and then we talked about Giants. They won a team fight. They're more about skirmishing than more about winning that laning phase. And that showed right there. They were very, very organized in that take. They will be going for the small turret, so in the end it will be an advantage for Giants if they don't lose anyone right here. But we do have Samox going on to Schley, and he might be going down. Yeah, they're going to go in there. There's a box put down, and there's a shockwave as well coming out. Morden down very low, but he's regenerating that from his ultimate. Can they get the damage off to finish? The Ignite is running, and he will get the kill. Last tick of the Ignite there picks up the kill from Slayer. And that was a nice turnaround from against Authority. Yes, they've lost that middle turret, managing to pick up the kill though. In the meantime, Freddy 1-2-2 was pushing that top lane during the entirety of that long fight from Dragon into the middle lane. He has a turret very low already, so now against Authority is 3 men pushing the middle lane, while we see No taking away the blue buff from Exter, so that's very bad for them. We see the flip lane on the gym modes, and now he popped that cleanse, they can wither him, and he will never be able to escape against them. Oh, but here comes Extermin going in there on towards Slayer. Did have the command protect on him. The Ignite is burning. Will go in there with the Rift Walk to pick up the kill. But can they chase down for the kill? Another hook lands from Dude, and they do manage to pick that one up. Now No did get himself involved as well, but not sure that they've got really the range to get that one up. And the turret takes a couple of hits before against Authority back away. But as you mentioned, Freddy in that whole thing was pushing the top lane, has now taken that inner turret. He's done a great job of it. Yeah, he is. And he's been just forcing that lane in every single time. And because of that, Samox hasn't been able to split push at all. Hasn't been able to get the farm he needs to build the items. Because you look at the farm between them, 182 to 126. That's a huge gap. 7.6 thousand gold to the 5.4 thousand. That just completely gives against Authority a huge advantage. And if they keep this pressure, it forces Samox to not be able to split push at all. Because even his ultimate won't be enough. He won't be able to get in time. And they'll be able to take the game. There's No as well, continuing his farm. He's 30 CS ahead of Misfortune, not to mention those 2 kills in there as well. Infinity Edge, Zeal, Vamp Scepter in there for No, who honestly Morden can't really stand around there for too long. Yes, with the help of Extermin, if he comes in, he definitely could, but No, not going to be caught out by that. I like how they're leaving him alone to just free farm, get as much experience as possible, because that's when he really starts to, or she really starts to take off, is when you get that level 18, when you have one of the longest. You want to get to that late game as fast as you can. Yep. Doing a great job of that one as well. Both mid laners got that Rod of Ages in there. No, as you can see, taking away the red buff, not taking too much time to get that one done. We see the Aegis of the Legion actually picked up, along with the Locket of the Iron Solari for Nasus. Compare that over to Morden on Mundo, who has the Giant's Belt and the Spirit Stone in there. Yeah, he's trying to work up towards a Warmog. The Spirit of the Ancient Golem isn't really an amazing item for Mundo, since it gives you a lot of armor but not a lot of health, so it's going to take a while to get to that item. But you mentioned the Rod of Ages over onto the AP mids, and I hope Demon's watching, because Exter loves building double if not triple Rod of Ages here, and he might need it to survive against the damage of No. We have Shen coming in, this might surprise him. Yeah, let's see what No goes for here. Actually will flash away the taunt, not quite landing there, and No actually manages to knock them back. Can he get the kill? Extermin going to go away. Samox picks up the kill in the end, and No going to be very unhappy about about that one. He was so close to taking him down, but at the end of the day, it's all about the team. And Against Authority have started off the Baron with 4 men.
Oh, he laid the hook!
Wow, amazing hook, but, well, they just didn't follow it up. Jason very excited about that one against Authority. Not so excited, apparently, and not going for that kill. They keep on doing Baron. It's down to half HP. Giants coming in from the side. There's a ward down there as the ball will maybe zone them. Jimbo's going to get caught here by the hook. The box goes down. Can they finish off the kills? Giants, all men pretty much down to half HP. Morden going to fall. Samuks is not getting away with this one. He actually got over the wall and almost made me look like a fool, but he was finished off in the end. That's 2 kills for Against All Authority. Nice bait on the Baron.
And the thing was, that was a perfect team fight out of Giants, but they're just so far behind in gold at this point. Like, that Stranglethorns knocked every single member of Against All Authority into the air. It gave them that time to go for the damage, but it just wasn't enough. They don't have the damage they need. We talked about that earlier, where, you know, Jimbones was kind of shut down. Well, he was shut down. That's a fact. And Exter wasn't able to really get off the ground since Nono's able to go 1v1 against him.
Here's Extermin. Is he going to come in here towards Freddy, who right now, Last Whisper and the Sunfire Cape. Plenty of damage, plenty of health in there, and again, Nono continues to farm here down in this bottom lane. He's bridged that gap now to 45 CS almost that he's ahead. Still not really picked up any items since we last talked about him, but he's set on 1,200 gold, 1,300 gold for Orianna as well, who is also 1,000 in the lead over his counterpart Kassadin.
And the thing is, these items are really going to come into play as the game goes on, just like in the next 5 minutes, because no one else on Giants has armor except Samuks. So you have a 4-0-1 Renekton, who even has a Last Whisper. You have a 2-2-1 Tristana, who's extremely strong, and you don't really have any armor built up to counter that. So they're going to shred through the enemy team right now, and Samuks, I mean, yeah, he'll be tanky, he'll be a little annoying with the taunts, but it won't matter in the end. If they can kill Exter and Jimbones, it's over, and Against All Authority will win that team fight. You know, could take Baron, could take inhibitors, and maybe even the game.
And we are now seeing the invade coming out of Against All Authority. They fancy themselves a red buff for Nono. And, well, it's not going to be countered whatsoever there by Giants. So, will Baron be the next target here? We do have that Oracle's Elixir running on the support dude. But in the end, they come straight back towards middle. And actually, the good thing for Against All Authority is that they've got Giants completely out of position. 2 men off to the right-hand side. Will they try to fight this one? Will they try and pincer Against All Authority in?
I don't think so. I don't believe Giants think they're strong enough to really go against them. No, he's so big at this point. Renekton, you can't even kill him anymore. And Nasus, who's like a really support-type jungler, is going to keep his team alive. We do have Exter sitting around the side, though. He's trying to make a play here, but I think it's going to backfire if he does go in.
Well, he is waiting off towards that right-hand side. Against All Authority already know his position. What you see there, the burst, taking Nono down to half HP is going to lifesteal a good portion of that back. And Giants doing a good job of actually forcing Against All Authority away, but look at Freddy, the Crocodile going to come around the back. There's the hook onto Extermin. He's going to get knocked down to half HP. The shockwave comes down, locks up 3 of them, including the kill there on towards Kassadin. Samuks is the tanky one here, but he's not going to last very long. Double kill coming out for Orianna. That's a 2 for 0. The Wither is down on Jimbo. You see Freddy slicing and dicing his way forward, but doesn't quite get in range to get that stun off.
So you mentioned about Exter going in on Nono. It was a lot of damage, but like the downside to that is if he goes in and gets caught, if he can't kill Nono from 100 to 0, then he's going to die because Nono will be able to kill him in the time his Riftbot comes back up. We saw it kind of right there, exactly what happened. They got baited into a fight, but that was still well played by Against All Authority. And Babetta, again, an amazing Stranglethorns knocking out 4 members of Against All Authority. Baron is being started. It looks like Giants will be going for Dragon in the meantime, trying to get a little bit of extra gold, but a Dragon is not better than a Baron.
Yeah, and that leaves them, let's say, 13,000 gold behind. Like, that's a big total at 26 minutes coming in. Yeah, Giants are going to get themselves a Dragon, which, not to be sniffed at, obviously, is a good bit of, a good chunk of gold to help them try and maybe come back in this game. But honestly, Against All Authority are looking very, very strong at this point.
And look what they picked up recently. We have 2 Runic Bulwarks. I mean, obviously 2 is not like the ideal situation to go for, but the thing is, it gives Tristana that added magic resist, which he's going to need to survive the burst out of Exter. All you have to do is keep him alive. You have a Luck Iron Star to do that on top of that. If you do that, if you keep him alive, he will just shred the team down. He's already so fat. He has a Bloodthirster, has a Zeal, and Infinity's Edge on top of that. And Against Authority, I mean, they're playing this perfectly. Items are perfect. They're engaging in correct fights, and they're doing extremely well.
Looking very good indeed. Actually extending his KDA lead right now to a solid 24. That is pretty insane for him at this point. So we'll see if he can extend that even further in the rest of this game, or whether he'll spoil it all and end up dying at some point. But let's have a look at the CS here, because, you know, as the game goes on, obviously it's harder to really compare that, but that 40 CS lead still stands between the AD carries. But it's the Shen versus Renekton score, which is 226 to 170. That is a lot, and then you factor in the 4-0-3 as well from Freddy.
Yeah, they took advantage of Shen Yi level 6, obviously, to get down and really help that bottom lane, because they went for those early kills onto the Giants. They picked those up, they kept that pressure on, and because of that, Shen had to keep leaving his lane over and over, and from that, Renekton would just push, he'd get even more farm and get even further ahead of Samix, and it's really hurt him this entire game.
And we see another turret going down. That's turret number 6 of this entire game for Against All Authority. Shen was actually split pushing, but did recall here. Didn't want to use that Stand United to be coming back, when I think he could have actually forced Against All Authority to back away if he'd have kept going there onto that inner turret.
I do like, though, that he picked up home guard boots, and we might need to see more Giants members do that, because if Against All Authority gets any poke down on them, when you have Tristan who has the range, you have Schley with that ball, which can really hurt. You even have the Spirit Fire, I guess, if you want to count that in. They're going to need to get back to these front lines very quickly. That top lane still is pushed in, just like you were mentioning. Against Authority, we'll have to deal with it very soon. Do have Giants trying to be a little aggressive there, but if Against Authority can't get this turret, they're going to have to back away.
Giants will force them off. That turret is still being pushed, but there's a decent wave coming back from it as well, so maybe not yet in 100% immediate danger. Against All Authority, realizing that, are still stuck well up by the inner turret, which of course has already fallen a little bit earlier on. But it's all going to be about Dude at this point. When he gets that hook, we will see them go in there. It's Extermin actually coming around the side on towards Freddy. Yes, burst down to half HP, but that half of his HP bar is still a considerable amount of health.
Against Authority, they're really hesitant to engage. I mean, Exter, he's sitting on the side every time, so he's really forcing Against Authority to make a move, and most of the time it's just them backing away because of that presence of him, but he might get caught here as he does start to back away. He doesn't have anywhere to smash. You know, he did have one ward in the towards the blue buff, which kind of spotted him, but instead he's just going to get some farm, and this is a point where if Giants are smart and they can kind of hold their lanes, like not let them push out super hard in these giant waves, then they can get a lot of farm and really start to catch up here. We might need to see, you know, they have to pick up an Oracle, which he in fact just did, to clear any vision out in their own jungle so they can keep that gold income happening.
Jimbones here pushing out to take their own red buff. Much needed pick up from their side of things. Let's see then what Giants are going to do in this scenario. No now. With the Bloodthirsty Infinity Edge, is going to be hurting a lot. He's up at level 16, so now in terms of range, he is hitting you from a long way away, and is hitting you very, very hard at the same time. As Extermin is actually pushing down this bottom lane. May pick himself up an outer turret. Virtual's going to go down and counter that one. In the meantime, Freddy's pushing the top lane out completely as well.
You might see Against Authority with no node group in the middle, push them back and not let them back and defend against that. If Freddy wants to continue, you see Samix actually will be going back as Extra. He's still trying to go for a push onto this turret. I mean, I don't think he can really get it because that Wither over and over can just stop that attack speed, and Virtual's just going to get a lot of free farm there. He's going to need really help from anyone else in his team to take a turret. And you know, keep in mind, they've taken 2 turrets, the 6 now Against Authority, so they've been limited on gold quite a bit, and you see it in just the total gold built up. You know, 49,000 to 38,000 at this point.
That big lead for Against All Authority. Dragon going to be coming up again in 1.5 minutes. Baron buff has run out now for Against All Authority, so I'm not sure exactly on the time that ran up, but it's going to be coming up here fairly soonish. As again, Against All Authority are going to be pushing up towards that inhibitor turret. A couple of hits coming out there from No. You just waiting off towards the side. He's going to land the hook here on towards Morden. There is the shockwave going to come down. It drags 3 of them in. Bullet Time actually cancelled their mid-channel, and Samux actually will ultimate off on towards Babetta. And no kills resulting from that one from Against All Authorities there. They finally do kill out Samux. Can they get the finish here on Jimbones? Wither goes down. Will they go for more on Morden? No, they're quite happy with forcing them back, taking themselves in the inhibitor turret and the inhibitor itself.
And that's what they were waiting for. They were always hesitant because they wanted Dio to land that hook and really make that engage happen. They also wanted to bait him into a death, which you see finally happen. So there goes his KDA split in half. But still, that's what they're waiting for. That's their big play. And if Dio can keep doing that and create opportunities, like that's a middle inhibitor down. If they ever land one hook and pick up kills off of that, it will be another turret, another inhibitor, maybe a Baron again. And Against Authority, like, they're depending a lot on their new support, and he's pulling through. Like, he's really rising to the occasion.
Yeah, that's what we talked about in the pregame as well. The whole combination of Thresh and Orianna, they did exactly what we'd expected of them, which is get the ball on top of Thresh, wait for him to land the hook, wait for him to get in there, drop the box, and then go further. Is Extermin going to come in here on towards No. Is he going to be able to get in there for the kill? No, not quite, but you see the danger.
No, he won't go in for that kill, and that's just ridiculous. I mean, Exter went in there really confident and ended up being turned around and having to walk away with his head hung low. But that's just how far ahead he is. He has a Quicksilver Sash, so he can get away from that silence if he needs to jump, and not to mention that taunt out of Samix, which is the really only saving grace Giants had to lock him down was that taunt. But with that QSS, he'll be able to get out of that, he'll be able to keep his damage going, and the items are just getting further and further ahead for Against All Authority.
Baron coming up here in 15 seconds as well, so we may see Against All Authority go straight in for that one directly on the spawn. We can see on the minimap that they're starting to close in on that position. They've got the wards down. Now Oracle from Dude has cleared out everything that Giants had to offer there, and as the Baron comes up, they're already ready and waiting to take it down. Watch
for this pull coming in here very shortly. We have Exter, who's on the bottom side, going back towards mid. It looks like they will concede this Baron. And that's... I mean, it's a good move to get away, because you know if they lose this fight, the game is going to be over. But now you're defending against a Baroned up team when your wave clear isn't that good at all.
No. I think it's a case of when at this point for Against All Authority. They've been very, very cautious about the initiations. Obviously, they've waited a lot of the time for Dio to really single out that first person, then go all in on that one. So have a look at the items that we're seeing now being picked up. Phantom Dancer finished for Tristana, along with that Bloodthirster and the Infinity Edge and the Quicksilver Sash. But in terms of damage, Tristana right now at her peak.
And they're pretty much dead. He's pretty much dead even with Gym Bones too. Like, only advantage he has is that his range is a lot... not equal in damage. I forgot about the Infinity Edge right there. But he also has the range advantage over Gym Bones, which is going to hurt quite a bit. And Joe, I have to ask you, Schleia with his items, is that still a meh wave?
No.
It's the full-on shockwave now?
It's a full-on shockwave.
All right. Good to see that. But yeah, the items are just... They're very far ahead. We saw Schley actually keep his Chalice at a Chalice because he wanted to go for some damage. He knew he was going to need it. And we saw the Saracen Embrace picked up for Exter, which saved his life there going head-to-head against No. And Shen still just straight armor. But at this point, once Tristana gets that last Whisper, he cannot even go head-to-head against them either.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point that's going to be bad for them. Against All Authority starting to go in. No. Going to get a couple of hits off on towards the turret. Minion wave now coming in here as well. And watch for Dude here, down on the left-hand side. Let's see how he brings in...
Wow, Sam's going
very, very low. They actually will manage to get away just about until the Ignite was running the whole time. Freddy is in there as well. Can they pick up the kills? Freddy actually going very, very low. Command Protect Virtual actually running straight in there as well. Puts a Wither onto Gym Bones. And that's going to cancel out any good effects that Phantom Dancer's having over him. But can Against All Authority here pick things up? It's 5 versus 4. They're not super healthy. Giants have gone back to heal up as much as they can. There's the plant coming up and then being taken out straight away. Is Freddy going to get Command Protect on his head? There is the Shockwave. They're going to take down the AD carry. And now No on that killing spree. The third and final inhibitor turret is going to fall here as well on that bottom lane. But can Against All Authority finish things off? 15 seconds for Shen to come up. 40 seconds before Misfortune is back in there as Freddy goes in towards Extermin. He rift walks back onto the fountain. Well, the first Nexus turret is down here. There's Command Protect coming on. Freddy just trying to zone them. He's not going to be too unhappy that they're all focusing on him as he comes away with the lantern. Just about Exterminator getting back onto the fountain, but the Nexus has been focused here. Now we finally see Freddy going down, but the Nexus being focused upon. Slayer going very low. The box drop will slow Samax right down. They finish him off there, and there will be the Nexus going down. And Against All Authority win their second game in a row with their new support Dude. And there you see the camaraderie between him and No. You know, they've looked like a different team with Dio there.
Yeah, they did. They pretty much pulled the Copenhagen Wolves, but the good side of it, where Bjergsen came into the team and they started winning their games. You see Dio come in, and they just have looked like a completely different team. They've been playing so perfectly. They've been playing like a real team instead of just, you know, separate players in separate lanes. And you have to give them credit. That was a very well-played victory.
What a devastating loss for the Giants on the other side. We're going to head over to the analysis desk with Freak and Quickshot to break down the game.